Hey guys, welcome back. It's been a while, been busy with school. I thought I'd sit down and continue a little bit more about Ross Jeffries' speed seduction. All right, we're going to pick up with where we left off last video. What that was, he was talking about confidence performance, okay? To refresh you a little bit, it's been a while. He says confidence performance is a big Gordian knot. I don't know if you know the story of the Gordian knot, he says, but it was a knot that no one could untie. If anyone could untie it, they would be named king of all Greece. Alexander came along and just cut it with his sword. The trap that guys get into is that they won't take a step forward unless they're guaranteed a perfect result. Now, I know you guys have been there for that. I've been there for that. You're afraid, you tighten up, you talk yourself out of it, you come up with excuses not to talk to somebody, okay? We've all done that, all right? Of course, you can't get any result, let alone a perfect one, unless you take a step forward. So there's many ways to say that. You don't hit the shots you don't take, blah, 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 blah. He says, if you wind up never taking a step and never being certain, congratulations, you're a double failure. You're really fucked up in your life if you're in that loop and you're just stuck in it, okay? He's right. You do have to take steps to try and talk to people, okay? Nowadays, it seems like people are so introverted that they hate communicating with people. You go to the grocery store, you see people with their headphones in, right? They're not talking to each other. They're listening to music to tune people out. So, you know, that's a dying art as far as talking to people and connecting with people. What most guys do to address this is to just absorb more material, more of these books, he says, right? They figure if I just study more, then finally I'll be certain enough to take that step and know that it'll come out perfect. It really doesn't work that way. And let me tell you guys something. I want you to think about something. Think about a time that you waited to talk to a girl that you really liked. Okay, you waited. And in that time, you've made up all these excuses. I don't, blah, 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 blah. That's usually how it starts. And then in a day or two or shorter or longer, that girl gets in a relationship because you waited. Has that happened to you? Have you felt the pain of that? Oh man, I missed out. She blah, 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 blah with this other dude. I mean, fuck, you have no one to blame but yourself, okay? There's a rule that if you connect with someone in 3 seconds of seeing them for the first time, you go talk to them. You felt that, right? Oh my God, she's so beautiful. You see that with your eyes. You're very interested. Don't think about it. Just start a conversation and see what happens immediately. Those always turn out the best, okay? That's... You know, Ross Jeffries can say all this, but immediately within a few seconds of seeing someone that you're attracted to, go talk to them. If you fuck it up, you fuck it up. I can promise you you'll fuck it up if you wait, okay? How do you know if you're suffering from that syndrome? He says, check your bookshelf, closet, basement, CD shelf. If you've got a lot of CDs, DVDs, this is old, obviously. And programs on pickup and seduction and notes from all the seminars that you've gone to, but you still haven't done much of anything, you've got the syndrome. The solution is to aim at the right kind of confidence. Recognize that you cannot have performance confidence till you've done the performing, he says. The right kind of confidence will always depend on where you are in your learning cycle. As you get enough trials and practice under your belt, you can start to have legitimate performance confidence, he says. You want to avoid premature performance confidence sinking syndrome. All right, so all of this boils down to don't hesitate, don't puss out, don't make excuses, get out there and start talking. He said, let's talk about rehearsal confidence because I do believe in this. Rehearsal confidence means that you rehearse in vivid detail out loud what your responses will be. I've said many times that if you want a different response, rehearse it. You're going to rehearse how you sound and how you'll look and what movements will be. You'll rehearse responding and feeling a certain way. So let's say someone out there is a college student, and since I've been going back to school, I've learned a lot of things that people are being taught. But one of the classes that I've been taking, and it makes me laugh, is communication. Okay. I thought, well, I'm great at talking to people. I have no problem talking to people. I talk to you guys here on YouTube. This is going to be a cakewalk. I get into the class, and half the people are terrified to stand up and start talking. One girl sitting here crying as she's talking, and I'm very uncomfortable by this. I'm like, wow, I had no idea how much this country struggles with communication. So, I dug down a little deep to try to figure out, well, I'm good at this. Why am I good at this? And no one else seems to be, very comfortable talking to people. And we could do a whole video on that if you guys want to talk about it one day. But, take that class serious if you guys are in school, okay? Because you'll learn a lot from it. And if you're intimidated to talk to people, then none of what this guy's got to say is going to mean anything, okay? But he says you'll look and what your movements will be. All right, so you're going to rehearse. There's some keys to a good, effective rehearsal. Repetition, he says. You want to do it a lot. Okay, I agree with him there. You do. An altered state. Before you do your rehearsal, I suggest you do some breathing. All right, all that breathing, I guess, sure. Energize yourself with some breathing and do a little progressive relaxation. So he's wanting you to chill the fuck out before you start talking, basically. It has to be multimodal. What do I mean by multimodal? It's enough to just do it in your head. You have to get up. You have to actually make the movements, move the way that you would move, talk the way that you would talk, stand the way you would stand, actually perform the gestures you would perform. This encodes it into your neurology, aka it builds a pattern and you're able to perform on cue, okay? It'll seem goofy at first, guys, standing in front of a mirror and saying, "Hi, my name's Joe," and, going on with your routine if you're not used to doing that. So do it in the mirror before you start. Take a look and see how you see yourself doing this. He says he believes in rehearsal confidence quite a bit. I have several programs and products to help you with that, he says. So by all means, I guess he wants you to buy them. However, I do have a special gold key and warning. I've put this in red. I haven't done anything. Correction, I haven't done that in any other modules. He says, what I'm about to show you is really powerful. Okay, but I want to warn you about rehearsing too much. For guys who are afraid to take action or are looking for the perfection before they take this step, rehearsing can be a trap. You think that if you just rehearse enough, you'll be perfect. No, rehearsals make you do better, okay? You practice. But you're still not going to be perfect before you take the step. Having said that, here's the gold key, he says. I hope you guys are sitting down. I can't wait to see what Ross's gold key is. If you really want to add punch to your visualizations, imagine it from a woman's perspective. He said, oh my God, he's wanting us to think like a woman. That's the gold key. First, imagine how you would look and how you would stand. Rehearse it out loud. Then imagine looking at yourself through her eyes. There's value in that. All right, I can see that. I see that. Hear her on the inside say, damn, he's hot. I've got to meet him. I want to meet him. Then imagine the flow of feelings in her body as she feels that little bit of desire to talk to you. It's not overwhelming, boiling lust, because you'll burn out the circuits. All right, I don't agree with this one. There's no need for you to feel the girl that you're after, to feel feeling you, when she may not even know your fucking name. So I'll continue with this. I don't recommend this. It's not overwhelming, boiling lust, because you'll burn out the circuits, he said. It's just a little bit of, wow, I really want to meet this guy, okay? Then pull back and see her through your eyes. Shift perceptual positions. Now you're looking at her again through your perspective. She is smiling. Look at it. What are we doing here? We're changing perceptual positions. You're starting out seeing yourself from her perception, her eyes. It's like you're inside of her head, looking at you. I don't know how exactly it works, but it sort of keys the other person to respond in the way you want them to. So if he's correct with this, by thinking this about a woman, he's saying that your actions and your mannerisms and everything else is going to come out with that type of sentiment, and that a girl is going to pick up on that. If that is true, and I'm not sure yet that it is, then that's a great idea, Ross. That is. Well, we would have to look more into that. Again, I give you the warning to not rehearse too much, he says. Watch your rehearsal to action ratio. For every 5 points of rehearsal, there should be 20 or 30 points of talking action. I'm not even going to try to calculate what the fuck he's talking about there, okay? Just get out there and talk to people, all right? Let me tell you about the next kind of confidence he says that's very useful. Often, this is what you'll have to rely on in the beginning. It's what I call acceptance, extraction, confidence. What does acceptance, confidence mean? It basically comes down to accepting the facts and eliminating all of the drama. It essentially means that you cannot know with certainty what any outcome will be. All right, Ross, I agree. Even if you've done things 1,000 times right with your pickup, you don't know what 1,001 will bring you because women are random and chaotic. Absolutely true. He's right. They have a structure, but that structure can be chaotically influenced by the smallest little element. It's the butterfly effect, you know. Anything can influence anything. But I would add to this that with your practice, you are alleviating any change. With enough practice, it don't matter what that change is. You know how to get people back to the center, if you will, of what you're trying to accomplish, okay? You never really know for sure, and that's okay. It's based on acknowledging that you don't know what's going to happen, that you don't like that you don't know what's going to happen, and making a decision. You acknowledge reality. You'd like to talk to the girl. You acknowledge that you don't know what's going to happen. You acknowledge that you don't like that you don't know. Then you make a choice. I'm going to find out. Let's go in and see what happens. So I'll add, if you guys really hate the fact of not knowing what's going to happen, use that as a motivation to go talk to somebody, okay? I hate going into things blind in life. So I have the confidence to get out there and figure out what's going on around me so I don't walk into a situation blind. I can't stand that. You know, that's all it takes for me with anything. Really, this has to do with epistemology, he says. It's the study of how we know things. Can we know things just from figuring out in our heads? Or ultimately, is there some realm of human experience where we have to go out and experiment to know? I want to suggest this empiricism is your epistemology. Empiricism says that ultimately the only way to find out about the world outside of ourselves is to experiment, okay? It's a perspective that says you're going to let action and reality teach you what works rather than worrying, guessing, speculating, okay? It's okay to form a theory. As you see, I form theories all the time, but you have to let reality and action teach you what will work, okay? So I'm going to stop and talk to you a minute about this. I would like to hear from you guys some of the problems that you encounter up here about talking to a beautiful woman. You guys comment, let me know, find a way to get to me. I want to hear from you. What are some of the hangups that you're running into? What are you telling yourself to psych you out of this stuff? Okay? Please, I mean, I got nothing but time to sit here and answer your questions, and I want to see where the masses nowadays are getting hung up and talking to people, okay? It's good to be back. It's good to talk to you guys. I'll start pumping out videos on a regular basis again. Like and subscribe. Still don't understand YouTube. I'm about to start streaming on Twitch. I don't know what direction I'm going to go on Twitch, whether it's going to be more of this or sports talk. I mean, I ain't got no idea what I'm going to do yet, but I'm about to start streaming, so you guys tell me what you want me to do, what you would like to hear about, and I'll be happy to help. But I am going to keep doing these videos till this book is done, and we're almost halfway done. So, again, let me know where you're at. Good to see you guys. Take care.